How y'all doing today, man? It's your boy Jermaine from Eat Right Guys Nutrition and Fitness, and for this video I'm gonna talk about the 5 different ways that I can think of to pay for dietetic internships. And for those of you that don't know, it is a requirement to do a dietetic internship to become a dietitian. These internships range from like 9 months to 24 months. They're pretty expensive. From my research, like the average cost is around $8,000 to $12,000. And you know what I'm saying, it's just something that you have to do to sit for the RD exam. So let's get into the 5 ways in which I think that you can pay for the internship. The number 1 way is to pay out of pocket. Unfortunately, this may not be an option for a lot of people. People that didn't save up enough money because you spun it all in undergrad. But that's why I always say, man, when you're an undergrad, try to get a part-time job. And definitely try to put some money aside for the internship, because I don't think a lot of students do that because they don't realize the expense of doing the dietetic internship. And they may not know that they need to do a dietetic internship once they, you know what I'm saying, in their freshman or sophomore years. So definitely get a part-time job, start putting money to the side, and hopefully you can pay some of that upfront cost out of pocket. Also, maybe you have some parents that have a little bit of money left over and can help you pay for the internship out of pocket. So that's number 1. Number 2 is probably the way most interns pay for the dietetic internship, and it's through loans, whether it be student loans or private loans. And loans can be a little tricky. For one, when it comes to student loans, you may not be able to get student loans if you're at an internship that's not associated or attached to a university. Which could be a big problem. And also, you may not be able to get student loans at certain universities that don't consider being a dietetic intern as graduate school. So when I was doing my dietetic internship at Southern University, we didn't have to take the GRE to do the internship, even though we got graduate credits. So that university didn't really consider us as interns as graduate students, even though we were getting graduate credits. So the students or the interns that came from out of state and tried to get student loans, they had a hard time getting student loans because the school was like, y'all are not graduate students, so y'all are not eligible for these student loans. So that could be a problem with student loans. Then you have private loans. So these are loans that are coming from like a bank. The problem with the private loans are that you could potentially have a ridiculous interest rate. And the reason why is because unlike, you know what I'm saying, federal student loans, which have a fixed interest rate, and a lot of times they don't accrue the interest doesn't build up until after you're done with school, and it may postpone when you start paying. When it comes to private loans that come from a bank, that interest is gonna start accruing as soon as you take that loan out. And also they're gonna wanna know how much money you make, they wanna know how much debt you have, they wanna see if you have a job, they wanna check your credit score. All that's gonna impact what your interest rate is gonna be. So you can have an astronomical interest rate. And that could be the case for a lot of students who are just out of college, don't have a job, haven't built up their credit yet, and things like that. A lot of those students with private loans have to get co-signed by their parents. And if your parents don't wanna do that, you know what I'm saying, you could be taking on a huge financial burden with these private loans. That are gonna start accruing interest, like I say, as soon as you take them out. And since you're not gonna be working throughout the internship, then you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have a lot of debt once you're finished. The third way I think that you can pay for internships is through scholarships. And the problem with scholarships are there aren't that many scholarships. The ones that usually offer scholarships for interns are from like the academy, has some scholarships, also state and local dietetic associations. Also, if you're doing like an internship that's combined with a master's degree program, you may be able to get some scholarships from that university, like a graduate scholarship. But a lot of times they don't pay for everything. So like the academy scholarships, you may get $250, $300, I don't know. A little, you know what I'm saying, something is better than nothing, but it's not gonna cover the cost of that full internship. So that's the third way. The fourth way in which you can pay for your internship is through stipends. So you do have a few dietetic internships that actually pay the interns, and these are internships that are usually not associated with universities. The VA has a lot of internships around the country that offer stipends, and some of them even will offer no tuition. And I actually made a video that I'll link right here to where I listed the top 10 most cost-effective dietetic internships. So you can look at that video and maybe choose one of those internships that you may like that are cost-effective. So definitely stipends. Like I say, just with scholarships, they're not gonna pay the full price of the internship, but something is better than nothing. And my last way of paying for internships is something I didn't really think of, but I saw somebody on Instagram do this, and this is start a GoFundMe page. Man, I saw this one intern, she did a GoFundMe, and she had people, I guess family, friends, and other dietitians and interns, they actually funded her tuition for an internship. And to be honest with you, some people may not want to do that, but I see nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? If people really support you and want to help you out, hey, it's going to a good cause. So you gotta do what you gotta do. I'd rather do that than be stuck in debt. So those are the ways in which I can think of to pay for a dietetic internship. I'm gonna leave down in the description a link to my top 10 most cost-effective internships. Also, I'm gonna put a link to the price of the different dietetic internships, pretty much the hidden costs that you don't think about other than tuition. I wrote an article of that on my website, and I'm also gonna link, pretty much put a link to my website to where I went and looked up all the dietetic internships in America, and I pretty much looked up their tuition costs, and so I made a document of that. It's $10, just something that's can make searching for which internships you want to apply to a little bit easier, especially when you look at it financially. But yeah, that's pretty much the video, man. If you have any comments, leave them down at the bottom. If you have any questions or want to message me personally, you can hit me up on Instagram at EatRightGuy, or you can email me at eatrightguy@gmail.com, and I'll see y'all later. And if you're a nutrition student or a dietetic intern and you're concerned about passing the RD exam, feel free to join my Facebook group, RD Exam Prep, which will be down in the description. And this is where you can be part of a community that will answer any questions that you may have, as well as I provided free study guides, notes, and practice exams. And while you're at it, follow me on Instagram at EatRightGuy, and visit my website, eatrightguy.com, where I post weekly blogs on nutrition and dietetics related topics.